If you're like most people, one of the biggest questions you might have about personal growth is how do you stay motivated? As a coach, it's probably the thing I get asked about the most. Everyone wants to know, how do you get motivated? And more importantly, once you are motivated, how can you keep it? You might also ask, what do you do when you aren't motivated? What can you do when motivation doesn't just show up like you'd like it to? Well, stick with me for the next 12 minutes and you'll never have to rely on or worry about motivation again. Welcome to Change Made Easy. Changing your habits, routines, and behaviors is hard. We make it easy. I'm Paul Leviton. I help high achievers who feel stuck bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be. Traditional self-help doesn't work. It's either too rigid, too generic, or too overwhelming. My approach is different. I simplify change by making it so easy it can't not happen. Using my easier framework, I'll help you create habits, build routines, and behaviors that stick, so you can stop struggling and start thriving. It's that easy. Ziegler said, "People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily." And it makes sense that you would seek motivation, because motivation can feel like a panacea, like the cure to everything that ails you. When you have motivation, everything runs smooth and it feels easy. You get after it. You accomplish tasks. You crush your goals. And on the other side, without motivation, you feel zapped. You push that project to the back burner. You quit. You give up. The thing is, if it were as easy as just hopping in the shower, as Ziegler suggests, that'd be swell. But the reality is that motivation is sadly not just a switch that you can turn on at will. And that means if you're only driven by motivation, you'll likely feel stuck without a real discernible way forward. You end up just hoping and wishing that you'll get struck with a wave of motivation that you can ride again. But lucky for you, it doesn't have to be this way. I will go over the one key mindset shift that will allow you to leave motivation in the past so that you can be the driver of your life. I'm going to explain exactly how I've released this podcast weekly for over 4 years, built my own business, read hundreds if not thousands of books, worked with thousands of clients, and consistently eaten healthy and exercised for over a decade, all without ever needing motivation to start or to keep going through any of it. And I'm going to tell you how you can do the same as well. Motivation is great. I'm all for it. Who wouldn't be? Like I said in the intro, when motivation is there, it's amazing. When you are motivated, things feel great. It's wonderful. And if that happens, lean into it. 100%. Use the motivation. Every time you get it, that's great, and you should use it. The issue is, as you may have noticed, that motivation just isn't always there. It's not reliable. And that's because motivation is an emotion. It's like happiness, sadness, anger, or any other common emotion that you go through in your day-to-day life. And the thing about emotion is, you can't control them. You can't say with certainty if and when a certain emotion is going to come on. If you're sad, you can't just decide, now I'm happy, even though it might help if you could. When you're fuming mad, you can't just decide, I'm no longer angry, and then turn it off just like that. Even if you're generally a happy person, there are times when your body or your mind have other ideas, and you get taken over by anxiety, overwhelm, stress, or whatever else. And that's how it is with motivation. Motivation comes and goes. And studies have shown that we actually all have what's known as a motivational set point. We have set points with all emotions. Some people tend to be happier than others. Some people are more moody or more stressed, more prone to overwhelm or anxiety. And some people are more motivated inherently. Listen to that again. Different people come with different levels of internal and inherent motivation. And that means that you not being motivated is not a character flaw any more than it is for you to not be jolly or optimistic or if you're just sad or anxious. Welcome to being a human. And now, when you want to be more motivated, but you have a lower motivational set point, that's like someone with general anxiety disorder saying, I just want to be happier. Like, of course, I'm sure that would be great. They probably do want that, but that's not how it works, and wanting it to be so will not make it so. So someone who is clinically depressed doesn't just get to become happy. They use tools like cognitive behavioral therapy, talk therapy, meditation, potentially medication to shift themselves away from that natural set point. But that person who's just generally more depressed than most, even on their best, happiest day, still might not be as happy as another person who's just more naturally happy every day. Is it fair? No, but that's life. Again, welcome to being a human. Now, the unfortunate piece is for you, if you're naturally unmotivated, unlike a lot of the issues that we face in today's world, there isn't a drug for motivation. I mean, maybe there are certain things that you can use that will help you get more work done, but it's not really the same thing. So the solution is definitely not to just hope for more motivation. Like I said, it's an emotion and you can't control when it comes. So if you're just hoping for it to strike you, you're inherently putting your destiny outside of your own hands. If you wait to be motivated to take actions towards your goals, you and your goals are going to be waiting a long time. And that is where most people give up. The real solution is to learn to stop relying on motivation completely. And the way that you do that is by changing your mindset around the behavior or the change that you're after so that you don't have to be so beholden to motivation in the first place. Now, how do we do that? So for me, this is the key mindset shift. As I said in the intro, I've consistently gone to the gym for over a decade. I've released this podcast weekly for almost 5 years. I've written blogs, books, created courses. Now, I don't say this to toot my own horn, but just to highlight some of what I've been able to accomplish. And people might hear this and say, oh, well, you must be motivated. Again, people ask me all the time, how do you stay motivated? How do you get motivated? But I don't think I am. I do all of this in spite of motivation, in spite of not having it. I still do it, and that's the key. And this is the same tactic that I've used to help countless clients reduce or completely eliminate their need for motivation. And it's this. You have to understand that you do not get to not change. I am so pumped to tell you about my partnership with MyBodyTutor. MyBodyTutor is the world's leading nutrition coaching platform that helps people find their healthy weight and keep it forever through sustainable habit change. If you listen to this show, you know that we do not suffer from a lack of information. Most people know what they need to change. The problem is actually sticking to it long enough to see results. When it comes to diet, exercise, and getting in shape, MyBodyTutor solves this problem by giving you customized plans, one-on-one coaching, and daily accountability. As a bonus for you, they are offering $50 off your first month. What makes MyBodyTutor so unique is they offer daily accountability with a real human coach. That's someone to check in with you, talk to, plan with, someone who can help you when things are going hard. It's not ChatGPT, it's not some algorithm. This is a real human. I know because I'm one of them. I have been working with MyBodyTutor as one of their tutors since 2020. With so much nonsense and misinformation and just bad actors out in the health and wellness space, MyBodyTutor is helping people the real way. They are changing lives. I've seen it firsthand, and I'm honored to be a part of it. Check out MyBodyTutor.com, where you can see hundreds of testimonials and reviews. And remember, listeners of this show get $50 off their first month. Just click the link in the show notes or go to MyBodyTutor.com and tell them Paul from Change Made Easy sent you in your intake questionnaire, and you'll automatically get a huge discount. On top of that, they offer a money-back, risk-free guarantee, so this is really a no-brainer. And like I said, I really do work for them. So if you've ever wanted to work with me personally, you can even request to have me as your body tutor. How cool would that be? Once again, just say Paul sent you and get $50 off your first month, start with no risk, and see how the power of a coach with daily accountability can literally change your life. There is no such thing as staying the same. The fallacy that often keeps you stuck is that you think what you're choosing between is having a positive change that you want and not having that change. So either you lose 20 pounds or you don't lose 20 pounds. Either you build a business or you don't. Either you fix your relationship with your parents or you don't. That's the wrong way to look at it. And that is, again, what's keeping you stuck. Because the choice is not between having the thing that you want or not having it. When you look at it that way, that thing becomes a nice to have. Sure, it would be nice to lose 20 pounds, but if you don't, that's life. You're right back where you started right now. And of course, you could figure out a way to spend an extra 50 grand a year, but you're getting by on your current income, so it is what it is. And when you look at things like this as a would-be nice goal, then it feels like an option. And when it's optional, you need a little extra push to do it. And that extra push is motivation. It would be nice to have. So when you're motivated or so inclined, maybe you take the extra effort and you make that move towards that goal. But since it's not actually necessary, you put it on the back burner when the motivation goes away, when you aren't feeling as enthusiastic about it. Is this resonating with you so far? So the way out of this is first to see that this is faulty logic. We live in a universe with rules, and one of the rules is that change is a constant. All things are constantly changing at every and any moment. Any living thing, and potentially non-living things, are changing at all times. There is no such thing as stillness in the living universe. A tree, a blade of grass, a bird, a fish, a single-cell amoeba, and yes, humans, they all follow this rule. It's either growing or it's dying. You are either growing or you are dying. There is no neutrality in life. The plant that stops growing towards the sun is now in a state of decay. If nothing changes and growth doesn't start again soon, that plant is dead. And that seems extreme, but that's how our bodies work. This is the nature of life. Every day your cells are multiplying. All of the cells in your entire body are replaced every decade. And that means that it is not an option to grow. It's how you stay alive. When our bodies stop growing and stop replicating, that's when we are dying. But in life, when it comes to your goals, if you're not moving forward, you aren't actually just staying where you are. You're actually moving backwards because of that decay. And to me, this makes it a very binary decision. It's not, do I get my goal or do I stay where I am? It's, do I get better or do I get worse? There is no in between. If you're not working to get healthier, you're actively choosing to slowly get sick and die. If you're not working to better your finances, you're actively choosing to slowly watch yourself fall into a financial pit of despair and everything else that brings along with it. It's no longer, yeah, it would be nice to eat a healthy meal, but I'm just not motivated to cook. And instead, it's, if I don't want to cook a healthy meal, I'm choosing to get fatter, sicker, and lower my overall quality of life. And when I put it that way, it's a very easy decision to make. Now remember, there's no right or wrong here. No one's telling you how to live your life. If you can say out loud, I really don't care about going to McDonald's and eating something that's unhealthy for me, and even if it does make me a little bit fatter, a little bit sicker, and make my life suck down the road, that's fine and I choose that, then have at it. You have free will, you're a human, there's no one right way to live your life. The key is to be honest with yourself and to be frank about the options that you're choosing between. Because it's not cooking or not cooking. And then everything else outside of that is exactly the same. Everything is connected. You either choose to do the thing that helps you, that nudges you forward, that builds you up and makes you better, or the opposite. You choose the thing that drags you down, that actively harms you, that makes you worse. And remember that everything that you do affects everyone around you. So anything that you choose that makes you worse is inherently harming the people you love. Because a sicker, worse, more broke, whatever version of you, a less alive version of you, is bad for your parents, it's bad for your kids, it's bad for your partner, it's bad for your business. So it's selfish to just take the easy route to say, well, I don't want to cook today because I don't have time. The reality is, not only are you harming yourself, you're harming everyone around you. So now, which of these do you choose? And I don't know about you, but when I think of things that way, I stay pretty motivated. As I said, I've worked out consistently for over 10 years. This is through traveling, through moving, changing careers, having less time, having no time, all the things that happen in life. But I've always kept fitness as a top priority, as a constant in my life. So how? Was I motivated for an entire decade to wake up and work out for an hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 90 minutes, 3, 4, 5 times a week? No, of course not. And it's a good thing that I didn't have to be motivated to do it. I just understand that exercise is a necessary part of life. I don't get to choose to not exercise. Not if I care about my body or my health or my quality of life or the quality of life of my family and my loved ones. I don't live in a world where not exercising is the same as exercising. Exercising is what my body demands of me. And not exercising means I'm choosing the detriment of my own body. It's the vessel that takes me through this life. It's the only one that I'll ever get. And it means if I don't exercise and treat it well, I'm throwing it literally in the trash. So when I look at it that way, why would I do that? How could I do that? Even if exercise is hard, which it is, even if I don't always have time, or I don't always want to, which I don't, still, there's no other option for me than to do it. Because to not do would be, in my eyes, an even worse punishment. How do you start to not rely on motivation? You remind yourself that it's not just that the thing that you want, the goal that you have, is in your best interest. But more importantly, to not do that thing is actively choosing to make everything about your life worse, both now and in the future. When you choose not to work towards your goals, you are choosing to actively harm yourself. You're choosing to make your life harder. You're choosing to make your life worse. You're choosing to make your friends, your family, your loved ones, your children's lives worse. And if you can sit with that and say that it's still okay to make that decision, then that's fine. But I found that when you phrase it that way, you will no longer need motivation, and the obvious choice will be apparent, and you'll take action. Your words matter. Your thoughts become your life. To change your life, then, the first step is to change your thoughts. You change how you think about change. You change how you think about your goals, about the things that you want. And the most important thing is to change them from a would be nice to an absolute God's honest imperative must have. That if you don't work towards, you know that you're actively harming yourself. And you remind yourself that when you don't want to do the workout or read the book or whatever else, that you're not choosing between not doing the thing and doing it. You're choosing between making yourself better and making yourself worse. And if you can remind yourself that each day, you'll see that your need for motivation disappears. That is change made easy. If you're working on changing your diet, exercise, or other habits around food and fitness, you have to check out MyBodyTutor. MyBodyTutor is the world's leading nutrition coaching platform that helps people find their healthy weight and keep it forever through sustainable habit change. And you know, as a listener of this show, that when it comes to creating change, it's all about sustainability and consistency. And when it comes to diet, exercise, and getting in shape, MyBodyTutor solves the problem of consistency through one-on-one coaching, customized plans, and daily accountability. And as a bonus for you, they're offering $50 off your first month. But what really makes MyBodyTutor so unique is they offer daily accountability with a real human coach. And I know because I'm one of them. I have been working with MyBodyTutor since 2020. There's so much misinformation, so much nonsense out there in the health and wellness space, but not with MyBodyTutor. MyBodyTutor is the real deal. They are changing lives. I've seen it, I've been a part of it, and I'm honored to continue to grow with them. And you don't have to take my word for it. Check out mybodytutor.com, where you will see hundreds of testimonials and reviews. And as a special bonus, for listeners of this show, you will get $50 off your first month. Just click the link in the show notes or go to mybodytutor.com and tell them Paul from Change Made Easy sent you in your intake questionnaire, and you'll automatically get a huge discount. And remember, they offer a money-back, risk-free guarantee, so this is a no-brainer for you. And no joke, I really do work for them. So if you want to work with me personally, ask for Paul as your tutor. Once again, tell them Paul from Change Made Easy sent you for $50 off your first month. Start with no risk and see how the power of a coach with daily accountability can literally change your life.